tonight's session, we're diving into privacy on demand. Developers can now power any app with private user data using COTI and Hyperlane. So sensitive information like identity or age checks shouldn't live on chain in the open. Through COTI, the data is stored securely and accessed only when needed. Hyperlane then makes it possible to bring those private checks into any decentralized app on any chain. Today, Upendra will show us step by step on how to do so. And of course, we have COTI panelists with us as well tonight. Robert, Robert, event director, fun creator, Git creator, and I'm your host, Calvin, who's also a creator. I'll hand it off to you, Upendra.
Thank you, Calvin. And I'm really super excited for this live stream because this privacy on demand is much needed feature in the blockchain industry, especially with the public blockchain. And COTI has provided that. And even you don't need to be, only developing on the COTI for that. If you have an existing project on any chain, you can demand the privacy from the COTI, and you can
Yeah.
easily integrate the private part there. So let's go and check out how we can implement.
So may I ask, Upendra? So from my research, the, by by having privacy on demand, the decentralized app wouldn't keep any store any sensitive information uh, from the clients, right? From the customers.
Yeah. So like it depends on the project. You're gonna be developing a smart contract on the chain they exactly have, or the chain for the privacy they're gonna be developing the contract on the COTI side. So it's up to them what part of the data of the customer they need to make it private, and what of the part of the data they can make it public. It's all of them, up to them. They can design the contract as they need it, and basically they're gonna be designing the contract whatever their users need. So it's kind of quite flexible in the COTI. You can create the public smart contract as well as private smart contract. Even in a smart contract, you can make a data or some information public, some information private. Even you can do the calculation on the private data, and you don't need to showcase or show any data to any admin. Like even the admin of the smart contract cannot see the data, only user can decrypt the data.
Okay.
So
So Upendra, sorry to cut you. Just want to ask you quickly. For someone like me, who has no tech background, if you have to explain privacy on demand in one sentence, like what would that be?
So as the sentence already says, like you gonna be get the privacy on the blockchain, which we don't exactly have right now. But with the COTI, you can get the privacy on for your project on your demand. Whatever privacy you need, you can get it from the COTI smart contract. And to understand it more, we kind of going to create some demos here, a very quick small demos, so a beginner can understand what exactly I'm trying to say.
And is it the
Got it.
future
All
or
right.
something?
Yeah, I'm curious because it's going to work on two chains, right? So I'm really
Yeah.
curious in terms of compatibility is one, of course, but also cost, how that will play out. So,
And with any chain, like you don't need to your project don't need to be in EVM chain only. If your project is on Solana or any chain which can deploy the smart contract, and if they are connected with any message exchange platform, it's good to go. And if it try to discuss about the problem, so the problem was transparency versus privacy. So in the starting of the public blockchain era, we discussed a lot like how the blockchain is transparent. Like your whatever the project is telling you, you can go and edit the smart contract, read the smart contract, and all the content, all the policies of that project can be seen transparently. But this is not the case for every solution. We're gonna see all the solutions which need some data to be private. Like let's talk about the medical data of the user. If we are creating some decentralized insurance company, and we put all the medical data of the user on the public smart contract, anyone can go and check out the data, and that's not what user wanted. So we need some privacy and also we need it on the public blockchain so that it don't become centralized. So for that we have the COTI. COTI provides this feature. But what about other chains? Like if the project is already so developed on other chain and they cannot switch complete system on the COTI. So COTI provides this privacy on demand feature here. They can use the privacy on demand feature by integrating some private part of the data on the COTI chain. So that was a challenge. The public blockchain are inherently transparent, and COTI solution is a privacy as a service. So COTI provides you the privacy as a service. You can implement it in your system, and that's really simple. So if we talk about how this privacy on demand work, so you can encrypt your data and then store it on the blockchain. So it seems like simple. You can, before storing your data on a public blockchain, you can encrypt it on your behalf using some encryption and save it on the public blockchain. But that's not here. COTI is not that simple. If you encrypt some data and save it on Ethereum, let's say, and you want to then make some decision, you want your project, let's suppose your project needs your data to understand something, make some decision on that, that even your project, your smart contract of that project cannot understand that data. But on COTI, you can encrypt the data and save it on the blockchain, and only you can decrypt that data. Also the smart contract can understand that data and decrypt that data. But you can also go and audit the smart contract. You can always see the code, like if there is some functionality through which user or admin can go and decrypt the data or not. So this is possible here. And so you are getting some secure computation, that's very important. And we are using some garbled circuit logic. There is some zero knowledge logic we have listened a lot time, but to make it fast and smaller size, we have implemented the garbled circuit here. So also it provides you selective disclosure, as I talked about. So you gonna have, or your project gonna have that authority, how much data, user data they want to disclose. Obviously it's gonna be depend on the user. If they are disclosing their user data by some functionality on the smart contract, user not going to use that project. So that's the fair point here. User can check the project which are keeping that data private or not. Also it provides you cross-chain functionality, as I said, like any blockchain who has a smart contract deployment functionality and they are integrated with message passing system, or even you can create some message passing system and it's good to go. So using the Hyperlane XLR, currently you can connect, get this functionality privacy on demand about approximately 70 chain. Now let's talk about some real world application. So where you need your private data, and even why, or if they need blockchain implementation or not. So there can be some cases where you say, like as I discussed, why would I put my medical data on the blockchain? So there gonna be some projects which need your medical data, as I discussed about the insurance companies. If you need some decentralized insurance company, we need to them to deploy your system, their smart contract, their functionalities on the public blockchain. That's why we can trust them that they are fully decentralized, as well as we don't need our data to be disclosed. But what we need them to disclose on publicly, we need them to disclose the privacy uh, policy features, like let's suppose when this policy going to be mature, and what are the terms and conditions of the policy. What can currently happen in the centralized system, maybe your centralized project or insurance company can go in future and change some policies. You have taken the policy right now, but they may can go in the future and change some policies, and nothing you can do, and you don't have even proof if they go and do it by their own. But on the blockchain side, they are going to implement all the functionalities, and all that functionality going to be publicly visible. You can.
Sorry, Upendra. By centralized insurance company, you mean off the blockchain, how things are how things
Yeah,
are right now. And
yeah,
basically, they have a policy. They give you a policy, and they can change it however you want. But if it's on the blockchain, then uh, there is records that you can check, and it'll be publicly able. Anyone can publicly check if the changes over time. Is that correct?
yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the power. It has transparency. So here you need, the transparency of the blockchain. But if you others in other features, other like about the user data, you can make it private. So that's possible on the COTI blockchain. Also, you can take that private feature on the COTI and get that public feature on other blockchain too. So if you talk about real world application like DeFi, so if we are integrating with some DeFi protocols, you don't want your rival companies or any other person know your strategies. You are trying to make some automation strategies to trade. You don't want them to be publicly available. Any position if you are making on decentralized system, you don't want them to be publicly available. Similarly, RWA. So it allows institution to keep the transaction detail and client information public. Uh, Currently they are public, but you can keep private on the chain using the coding. Similarly, on the DAO, all the confidential treasury information can be private, and confidential payment and decentralized identity. So like there are so many projects, they are keeping the person's decentralized identity and they are mostly on the private chain. Now they can make it whole system on the public chain using the COTI or privacy on demand feature of the COTI. So let me show it in the, let me brief. Just let me. So as you can see, if we try to classify like privacy on demand of the COTI, we can classify in three ways. Like we can see the service overview. If we see the service overview, what service they can provide, it provides privacy as a service. It provides service for any blockchain, and it addresses transparency barrier, and it Web3 focus. So it kind of on the public decentralized blockchain. So it's Web3 focused. If we talk about how it works, we actually have done it's layer 2 on Ethereum. It used double circuit protocol, and it's different from the JKP, zero knowledge proof. And the main key features are it's encrypted on-chain data, it provides you secure computation, selective disclosure, and cross-chain functionalities. So how you can get the cross-chain functionality? You can use XLR and Hyperlane. These are cross-chain messaging protocol. We are going to use the Hyperlane this time. And you can connect with any blockchain like Ethereum, Polygon, and Solana. And if you talk about the use cases, we already have done. In the DeFi, there are two type of use cases in the DeFi. It's a protecting trading strategy, hide position. In the RWA, you can tokenize asset privately, confidential transaction detail can be private, and client information privacy can be private. Similarly, in the DAOs, you can do private voting, and confidentially treasury management features or data can be confidential. Also, talking about the confidential payment, you can do private transaction and protect amounts and metadata. So like you can do whole private transaction. Also you can do partial private transaction, like you can protect, you don't want to show the amount of you transferred to some person, so you can hide it also. Similarly, in the decentralized identity, privacy preserving verification. So you want to verify some person's identity, you can make it private. Like currently, if we need to showcase of our ID card to someone, we kind of reveal all the information which is present in identity. Maybe that's not needed. We can, partially showcase to the platforms where it's needed for the identity verification, like proving age or identity without extra data. So like if somewhere you just want to prove your age, you go somewhere, they want to know if you are 18 plus or not. For that, you don't need to show whole of your data like addresses and all. You can show the only that part here using this decentralized identity. And I am going to demonstrate an example exactly for same.
So that means that the receiving end will recognize that you are 18, above 18, but would not tell you the exact date, exact age, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how this gonna be happen on different projects. So let's suppose you have developed some project on Ethereum right now. You have a project on Ethereum right now, and you want to save the user's identity on, let's suppose we someone has created a identity platform on COTI. So any chain can get that user's information from COTI directly. So you just need to create a project or a system on the COTI. You deployed a smart contract which stores users all the information of the user, and you have provided the functionality where anyone can come and ask if the user is 18 plus or not. Your smart contract gonna be do the calculation and provide the result true or false only. It's not going to reveal the user's age. Even the platform cannot see the user's age. Only you can do the calculation on that. That's only possible because we are using the garble circuit technology, and we can do the calculation on the encrypted data right now. So
So to put in simple term, COTI acts like a bank locker room.
yeah. Also, that bank locker room is on the decentralized system. So we are getting
Ah,
we are getting the advantage of both the world.
makes sense. So basically, only you own your data. Like nobody else owns the data.
Yeah. But
We have a question actually coming in via the chat. I can read it. The question is, right now, does it mean we have all the tools to encrypt data on a dapp, on Solana, with garbled circuits through XMR? That's the question. But you said EVM compatible, right? Initially.
no, like you can, as I said in this example, you can ask, you can create the encrypted part or the data which is going to be stored on the COTI. You can divide your smart contract. Like when you are creating some project, you create 2 or 3 smart contract, and they are interacting with each other. You can think it like that. You are creating some project on the Solana. You kind of can create whole functionality in a contract on the Solana, but the privacy part where you want to save some private data and do some calculation on that, you can create another small contract for that and deploy it on the COTI. Now what you can do, whenever you need that privacy feature and you want to access that private data and make some decision on that private data, you can call, like you call the you make the inter contract communication. You can call it directly from the Solana. It goes and do the calculation on the COTI side, interact with the COTI contract, make some decision, provide it on the Solana. You need to have a decentralized message passing protocol, secure protocol like Hyperlane to do that for yourself. And you get that private decisions and private calculation on the demand on the Solana. So that's the way you can get the privacy on demand, and that's really simple, and I'm gonna be showing you in this demonstration how you can achieve that.
Okay, thanks.
So as you can also think right now, we need to deploy 2 contracts. One is going to be, let's suppose I'm in the demonstration, I'm going to create a smart contract on the Ethereum, Sepolia Ethereum, and another contract going to be on the COTI. So what demonstration I'm going to be showing you, like user comes and save their age on the COTI side, which is going to be private, and then anyone can ask that contract, like if the user they're gonna give the user's address, and if this address owner is above 18 or not. We're going to demonstrate this simple example. And I also want to be showing you how you can call that function which is public from other blockchains too. So it's up to you. If you want to make a public function on the COTI side, COTI contract, anyone can call from outside the contract, or you can also add some restriction that only my contract, which is available on the, let's say, which is available on the Sepolia or the contract address, only this contract address calls this functionality. It's up to you what level of security you want to implement. So let me share. I'm gonna be using cursor for that. So here yeah.
So is Cursor your go-to AI tool?
Yeah, for the for the smart contract part, I think that's my go-to AI tool, is because we are not creating any UI. If it comes to UI creation, first I go my go-to tool for the V0, and here it's kind of have a UI which is clearly integrated with the LLM tool, so it's kind of help a lot. So
Nice. Yeah.
here, actually, we are going to do some difficult tasks. So I just not going to ask this, LLM to create a demo which involves this just a simple prompt. I kind of went to, ChatGPT to create a prompt to so that it can provide a proper context. So let me show you. So on the ChatGPT, I have provided it that data. So I ask it to create, I want to create a demo which involves interchain communication between COTI testnet and Sepolia. And this is a documentation of Hyperlane. So let me show this documentation. Hyperlane provides you the documentation in which it kind of tells you how you can send the message from one chain to another. It's a cool documentation and it's really simple. You can go and check it out. Yeah, you want to be stuck with the implementation for some time, but it's doable. So I provided some information what exactly I'm thinking, and then ask it to create a proper prompt with all the context. It kinds of provided me the prompt with the contract one, which is going to be on the COTI side. And I was not satisfied with this prompt, so I kind of copied it, and I thought, let's ask with the Gemini if Gemini is like good enough to provide me a proper prompt. So I asked the Gemini, and then I asked it to provide me a single prompts, because they are giving me two or three prompts. I asked it for one, then I gonna do all the changes in by myself. So it's kind of provided me this prompt. As you can see, the project involves creating a secure cross-chain age verification system. We can call this demo a age verification system for all the chain, a universal age verification system. And anyone can come and utilize this by any chain on any project. So as you can think, if we can create some project like that, like 1,000 or 5,000 projects of all over the chain can come and do ID verification for you. If my screen is visible, it's not visible.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Your browser. We're looking at your
Oh
browser.
yeah, Gemini.
Yeah, that's good. Like, it's not visible here to me. Okay, so it kind of went into the COTI contract implementation. It goes through the documentation of the Hyperlane, provided some examples to how to use the libraries of the Hyperlane. Like, these browser tools are also getting good to fetching the proper information, so we can utilize them to provide the proper prompt. Don't I suggest don't put all the burden on our CLI tools or the local tools. We can put some burden of the browser and all, and plan some prompt from here. So I did that. It goes to also tries to define the functionalities, and I think that's a correct functionality we wanted. Is just define the function, how it's going to look like. So on the COTI side, There's going to be handle function, which is a functionality of hard Hyperlane. Look, okay, let me give you some simple overview of how Hyperlane works. So if you talk about the functionality of Hyperlane, it's a complex system because to transfer the data securely from one chain to another, it's a it always kind of bridge thing which always gone through the hack. So Hyperlane has created a double security check system with the Oracle as well as Relayer. But for the developers, really simple. In their smart contract, they need to call the dispatch function of the mailbox contract of the Hyperlane. So Hyperlane has a mailbox contract on all the chains. You need to connect with this mailbox contract. You need to make inter contract call between these mailbox from your contract to the mailbox contract, and then up to the mailbox contract, how they're gonna be handle the security and all, and they are going to send your message to the target blockchain. And on the target blockchain, what you need to do in your smart contract, like for now we are going to create a smart contract on the COTI. We need to add a handle function. So from the source chain, we need to add a dispatch function, and on the target chain, we need to implement a handle function. So let me show you. To receive message, you need to handle by adding this handle function, and this is your message data, message body you're going to get. You need to decrypt this message, and you can read the message and make the functional changes according to that. So let me quickly go to the cursor and ask this prompt. As you can see, it kind of added all the functionality I want. It says like store encrypted age. Let me check one functionality if they have added or not. On the COTI side, if it provided like IT type or not. So as you can see, it is saying store encrypted age. So when we store some data encrypted on the COTI, we need to send data in the IT format. But here we are getting that data in the bytes format. That's not right. So I need to update that. Or we can ask the cursor, but this may confuse the cursor. So uh, we can change that. Otherwise, all the functionalities are going to be good. Let's quickly go and give this prompt to the cursor. Let's use the powerful.
Sorry. A follow-up question. Let's say there is a betting dapp on Solana. Can COTI be used to encrypt the amount a user wants to bet? Does the betting transaction with the amount can be encrypted with GC on Solana? Is that clear?
So it's up to you. Like you can encrypt anything. Like whatever the feature you want encrypted for your project, you can encrypt it.
So what you mean is, if this user on Solana would connect with this dapp, for instance, somehow you still have to send an actual amount, right? Which is, or does it just all, you could pool it and then it's settled on COTI, for instance, first? What would be the outcomes, and then distributed later via the dapp? Or because you want to make sure that there's no visible transaction of the amounts on Solana.
Okay, so when you take the data back to the Solana, what we can do, like he can save the private data, like the amount he want to do on the COTI, and he wants all the user to save that data on the COTI side, and he runs the bet. I don't want to talk about the bet more, but he runs the bet on the Solana, and there comes the result. Now he just need to distribute the amount, and he can get that information on the COTI and inform them to save their shape that on the COTI side. And when person comes to claim uh, on the Solana, he first go and check on the COTI side if this person wins that amount of token or not, and then he can withdraw that.
Okay, so the outcomes and the actual, let's say, bets would be on COTI, but the transactions of the totals eventually would be done on Solana for the outcomes, for the distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that would still be public as of now.
Yeah, like when person comes to claim the amount on the Solana, everyone can go and understand like this person has taken that amount from here, or you can do like transfer that amount from another address and try to go through that. It's depend on the like project, like how you want to design these things. It depend on the design of the project.
Thank you very much for the question, Nicholas.
So it's a smart contract too. I thought like let's update this part because say it like use byte and call data. You can say like use ITU 64 uint 64 for here. Let's ask. This is a complex request. Cursor says like this is a complex request because we kind of involving 3 chains here. And while it's kind of creating, let me show you how you can get the mailbox contact address. So as I said, they're going to be a universal mailbox contacts for on different chains. For the Solidity, they're going to be for Solidity. Sorry. For Sepolia chain, they're going to be one mailbox context of the Hyperlane, and the COTI, they're going to be another mailbox contact on the Hyperlane, and this is going to be universal for this chain. So you need to know the exact address, which mailbox contact you need to call. There's various ways you can go and check that GitHub of the Hyperlane, or there's also an easy way. Let me show. Go to the Explorer of Hyperlane, and you can check the chains here too. Like I'm going to use Sepolia. So here is a Sepolia, and there is a destination chain COTI testnet. Let's check. So here it says like on the Sepolia side, the mailbox contact address. This is the mailbox contact address you can use. On the COTI side, you can use this. So you can provide your project this mailbox contacts. You need to interact with them. So that's really easy. And let's check what actually doing. They started creating the smart contract, tried to set up the Hyperlane hard hat configuration. Now creating COTI privacy smart contract. It fetch information from the Hyperlane. It kind of fetch the private ERC20. We don't need it, but it's not using that. That's good. So if we check the functionalities, check A's has a functionality of user. You need to put the user address and it will give you the result true. Okay, kind of skip that and add it true for all the system. There's a handle functionality, and there is a process age verification. So whenever someone going to give them pass you the message, they're going to decode the message, and user they will decode the user address and process. They're going to call the process verification function with the user address, and whatever result they get, they will deliver the result. So to deliver the result, they have created send response function. Here they are dispatching the message with the mailbox contract. Good. And let me see how they get the mailbox contact address. This is the mailbox. As you can see, it's automatically added the check, a security check, where it's kind of checking the address, the contact address made this call, and it's only allowing the contract who is saved here. Like this contract can only make this call, this mailbox contract. Okay, so it means like it is checking the mailbox contact address, and which means like only we can also add like only which chain can interact with it. It's up to you. We can also remove this. So it also created a Sepolia verification contract. It has the functionality to set the trusted COTI contract. And where are they using it? Let me check. Here's the functionality to request verification. That's what we're gonna use. Okay, so if we check this functionality, what it says from, like I say, is privacy on demand. So we are on the Sepolia chain. From the Sepolia chain, we are going to call this function, which kind of demanding our private contract. What demand they are making? Verification request. So they are demanding for the age verification. They send the age verification, and this going to dispatch it, and you going to, it will ask or add the event like we have call for the age verification. After the age verification, when COTI contract replies, this reply comes to this handle function. It will check if it's coming from COTI domain or not, if it's trusted contract or not. It kind of added so many checks by itself. Maybe for now in the demo cases, maybe these checks going to add some errors, or we need to extra debug these errors. You don't need this for the demo purpose, but if you are creating some production ready code, these checks are really important, and that's what cursor is doing here. And in the handle function, it's going to verify the result and then saves that the verification has been done, and it will save the verification result. And what is the request ID here? So I think this request ID part is going to give the error. And here if we see, it's kind of created a project, also the project diagram. If we zoom out, it's telling the user all the steps. Like first of all, user need to call the request verification, then hyperlink message to the COTI. In the COTI side, it's going to connect with the privacy contract, decrypt and check if the age is 18 plus. It's going to give the result true, and then it's coming back to the Hyperlane, and on the Sepolia contact, and it's going to stored on the behalf of user. That's this user is verified and it's above a team. And you don't need to always go and interact with, for like whenever user comes and you need to go and verify for that. You need to do this just for once for each user. If you have the information like this user is 18 plus, you're going to save it on the Sepolia contract. So in that situation, whenever this user comes again, you have the information. Yeah, that user has passed the test and we already have verified it, and let it go. So that's how this works. So let's
Sorry, Upendra. So basically, your dapp won't be interacting with the user's data at all, right?
yeah, it's going to interact with the user's data via Hyperlane once, like whenever
Yes.
you want. Yeah.
Basically, just for the checks and bounds, but the whatever information that is, your dapp
No.
won't know. Okay.
No. So if we see, we have not implemented the we are going to ask it to do this for me, because it says like in the real implementation you need to do that, and we want actually it to do that. Add this functionality.
It's interesting in the meantime that this indeed would remove the necessity to give your actual age or actual birth date, which are sensitive pieces of data according to current law. Which makes me wonder at what point law will be updated to indicate, okay, an indication of whether you are adult or not is also a private piece of information. So, if we're continuing down the trend of protecting users' data.
Yeah. And like we are just taking the example of age here for a simple demo, but you can think about whole identity of the user. You are going to save
Of
whole
course.
identity, the address, the name, and whole their medical record and all. So it's kind of going to be a huge platform of all the data with the functionality to do process on the data. There we can think 100 of functionality for a user to provide 100 of verification regarding to data.
This is such a noob question, but like, so as a user, right, you're signing up for the dapp. Basically, on the sign up sheet goes into goes to COTI blockchain, right? Is that how it works?
Okay, let me see the question again. Like,
Sure.
what it means.
All good. So basically, if you have if there's a decentralized app out there, and I want to sign up, and it has privacy on demand. So on the sign up, of course, I'll put in my name, my age, my email address, for example, and that data gets uploaded into COTI, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And basically, so the data is in COTI blockchain, and that is the database that is being that on the blockchain is the database with my information. That won't ever be touched by anyone or extracted. It's pretty much encrypted. So the dapp itself, the way it's going to verify everything is by yes or no, basically. Like, are you over 18? If it's yes, okay, it passes. Don't know how much over 18, but it's pretty much over 18, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Trying to follow.
So this is a pretty complex functionality we are trying to develop, and Cursor is trying to compile the contract and getting some error. It says like all the context has been compiled properly. And it also created the env file. I have provided in the context the mailbox addresses. It fetches the domain addresses of the both the chain by itself, and when it's going to deploy it, it will update the addresses here so we can get all the important information from the env. And it also provided the rpc url for both the chain. I think we need to provide the private key here also. This rpc will not work, we need to provide the proper rpc for the support. Yeah, let me just also check the configuration. So we can, let me check if this rpc is working or not, or we can check when it's going to deploy it by itself. For now we need to create this example env, copy this example env and create a env file. We can also ask cursor to do that, but that's a really easy task. Let's do that. And I have created an address. I'll add the private key of that address here. Let's secure that. So I kind of created the env file. Now it says compilation has been successful. Your privacy is preserved. It's now cross-chain compatible and production ready. Deploy on both chain. Let's ask it to deploy on both chain. Before that, let me just once verify the contract. If we go on the Sepolia side, so I think this is okay. This request ID will be problem because it is trying to think that this handle function and this request verification function will have the same request ID. Okay, yeah, it has managed it well. So let's just go and check the deployment. And if we check the context window, we have utilized 40% of the context window of the sonnet.
So once it gets to 100, do you usually just open up a new window? Or...
Yeah, what we can do, like I can close this chat and open a new chat. It will reduce the size of the history of the chat.
And by continuing, do you copy paste everything that you've left off, or do you just start new?
No, like here only I can click on the new chat. It will create a new chat for us.
Okay.
We don't need to create another project for that. And it's not going to stop actually. Like it's not if the context window has go up to 100%, it will not stop. What actually gonna be happening, it will start losing some previous chat, some history of previous chat, and I think which maybe not required. So that's for good. So this tool is completely built for this, because the smart contracts or any development may take thousands of lines, and 50,000 or more than that line if the project grows. So it can handle the context by itself. We have added. Okay, we added the private key on the wrong side. We had all added the private key. Where it goes? Let's save it. Okay, so deployment failed on the COTI. Let's check if it can get the possible solution by itself or not. While it's trying to deploy, let me share some more information about the Hyperlane. What happens when you're going to set up send or receive message? Maybe there are more chances you can start getting the gas fees error, like the gas fees is not sufficient. So here's the important point, like how this system actually works. When you are dispatching something from one chain to another, you are giving the gas for this chain transaction only. When the transaction going to go on the target chain, the mailbox contract going to make the transaction on your behalf, and it will be paying the gas fee on your behalf. So you need to provide a particular gas fee when you are making the transaction from the source chain. So if we check the dispatch function, it's payable. So you need to send some native gas token, and still it sometimes start giving the error that the gas is not sufficient, and you cannot there's you cannot directly send them more gas from here. You, if you want to set more gas for priority, you need to use the dispatch hooks of the Hyperlane. So there are so many dispatch hooks. If you go and try to understand, there is a feature of adding metadata with the dispatch function. So this dispatch function is not that small. You can also add some data, some metadata here, and in the metadata you can provide the amount of gas limit you want to add. So this is quite technical functionalities. Like as you can see, in the dispatch functionality, you can add this standard hook metadata with the override gas limit. So let's suppose the gas limit used by the Hyperlane is low for your chain or for your pair, or it happens when you have implemented a bigger functionality. Like you are not simply passing a simple function. When your function goes to your target chain, it kind of do so much calculation. In case of COTI, we can see it's going to decrypt the message and then goes and make some calculation on encrypted data, which is quite gas heavy. Hyperlane cannot predict that properly, so in that case you need to add the standard hook metadata. And as we can clearly see it's not added here. So maybe when we try to run these contracts, we need to fix this issue. So talking about the COTI, deploying the contract, it says so it's trying to deploy with the COTI and spacing issue and also the RPC of Sepolia. So it says invalid JSON RPC. Let me add the RPC first. So I have created the RPC by using the uh, alchemy. I will add that in the env file. Let me stop it first. Hide our env file. Go here and change this RPC URL for Sepolia. And also, okay, now let's try deployment again. Use fixed. Yes. Let me add more COTI to this address too.
I recall if there's a problem with deployment. I think in one of our previous streams it was that the engine was too frugal. I didn't add enough gas, actually. So.
Yes.
Is that on Tuesday? I'm pretty sure it was like really recent too.
So it's successfully deployed on the Sepolia. And this is the error we always get on the COTI side. Pending block is not available. In that case, we always ask to, don't try to fetch the block, go directly with the fixed gas fee. It's trying to fix it by itself. Let's see. Yeah, so it says like deployment of the COTI also successful, and it's providing us the summary. So we now have both the contracts. Let's first check this contract if it's available on the COTI or it's kind of hallucinating. Cannot trust AI tools for now.
You can't trust AI to do everything for you.
Yeah. And like as a human being, you need to double check all the time. At least this can be checked, like if the contract has been deployed or not. So as we can see, it's been deployed at 46 seconds. So it's kind of implemented this complex functionality and also deployed it by itself. So maybe it's while we test it, it maybe gives us some error, but that's powerful. Like we have involved two chains as well as one interchain communication protocol. We didn't provide much context, we just provided the documentation, and also we created all this context using the free ChatGPT tool, and it was able to create the contract, and it also made a contract call as we are checking here. It's 20 seconds ago. So and like it's already start testing the contract.
Having said that, well done, Cursor.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yay.
I think rare cases where you just let it run and then it's working. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen it like in live.
And now
Well,
check on the Sepolia.
it could have
Yeah.
been learning from previous sessions,
yeah.
perhaps, in the
Yeah.
model. Yeah.
I
So,
mean, just out of curiosity, I mean, would it work with if you use Google CLI?
Maybe, but like as you know, Google CLI, we need to give all the time permissions. Like as we see here, it's not just happen with a prompt. It kind of goes in the backend rigorously tried and tested and try to solve the issue. That's why we can see like the context window has increased up to 50%. But when we do something on the Google Gemini CLI, we need to do everything manually, like keep all the permissions, check the code, and also it would have done, but the similar amount of task to do with the Google CLI, we need to we would have taken more than double time.
if I recall from
Mm.
this Google Gemini CLI's YOLO mode on
Yeah.
Tuesday when we did
Yeah.
our live stream there, the YOLO mode isn't very good compared to Cursor.
Yeah, actually
Oh
YOLO
yeah, I
mode
remember.
It doesn't think it only lives once. It thinks it lives for a lot of times. It just keeps trying.
It's like
Oh man.
its wall, its head on a wall over and over again.
And how it burns through the token is just insane.
yeah, but still I'm like quite positive with the Google CLI. The one reason it's free, and we'll have
Mm.
another test of the Google CLI. That was not a right test because I kind of have used it for
Mm-hmm.
a whole day, and the token may have ended in my token had ended in that case, because 1,000
Mm-hmm.
requests, that's a lot. So we cannot clearly say right now like if Google CLI is not working that good.
Mm.
I'm like pretty positive with that it will work. We'll have another in test it properly in another live stream with a full bunch of tokens.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, we could try it with Claude as well. I think, but I think that's gonna cost a lot, right?
Yeah, a lot.
But and getting the same results, like I mean, if Claude gives the same result as Cursor, but it costs more, pretty much.
Not pretty much, like a kind of using Sonnet 4 here.
Uh
So,
huh.
but Cursor kind of optimize it more, so it costs quite less than the Claude.
Oh, okay.
And I'm continuously running it on the Sonnet 4. Like if I put it on the auto mode, the performance may decrease because it's going to use another models to decrease the cost. Now, if we check the results, I also went to the Sepolia, and as you can see, the contract was deployed 1 minute ago. Now it's 4 minutes, and there is a transaction, and let's see what this transaction says. It also made a transaction here, and if we want to visually check if like any transaction goes to the hyperlane or not, like if it's not kind of hallucinating, or if the transaction on the hyperlane was successful or not, it's kind of saying like the transaction has been successful. It provides all the history and it says like demo was successful, like, but we need to check, right? Let's
Yeah,
go to
what
the
do we need to
hyperlane.
check?
Yeah, let's go to the hyperlane. We selected the Sepolia, and we are trying to track a transaction between Sepolia to COTI testnet, and it's been 2 hours ago, so there is no transaction here. We try to refresh it, and it still says it's 2 hours ago. So there's no interchain communication happened till now. What happens here? It make the transaction on the COTI maybe to save the age of the user. So let's go to the history, what demo it runs. So after this deployment, run setup COTI. and it's run this script on the COTI and the Sepolia demo live flow. Let's check these scripts.
Here is an interesting thought experiment I thought of, Robert. Mr. Privacy. So all right. Basically, with COTI blockchain, pretty much you can store private data on it, and if a company wants to verify something, they can access true or false statement, something like that, right? So what if the government has information, puts all your information onto COTI blockchain? For example, your age, date of birth, where you're born, nationality and stuff.
I would highly advise not to put that on chain, not on a public one. Main reason is it's like,
So like
just the booleans, like the yes nos, already are an indicator. Like I mentioned, what would be the expectations if at one point being adult, being 18 plus, for instance, would be already an indicator? Because you could harvest this data if you find contact points on other platforms. Like, for instance, there's a platform where there are other platforms where you have to give an indication of data or a different range. You can start cutting. Okay, I can now find.
Oh, so it's are you 18? No. All right. Okay. Are you 17, 16, 20, 21? Okay.
No, it's
so
some platforms have a maximum as well, for instance, and then that's an example. So you can get ranged, and it's like harvesting of data, which is then combined by brokers, and with that you can get a fuller overview of someone. So I would try not to put have as least indicators as possible, and two, never put the actual data somewhere on chain, because even we don't know where this will go, of course. Like this, if this is all stored, and in decades perhaps we'll have enough compute power to decrypt it, then any other nation could perhaps do that, and I would directly get insight into this information on the citizens if you put it on chain. So there's balances there in what you would compartmentalize and not make public, and the majority should not be public, in my opinion.
I got a question. There's a question from the chat here. In which year that we expected the privacy on demand system to be fully used by regular people for ordinary transaction system like online paying or cash?
This is a really good question.
Hard to say.
Upendra, the backend is working, right? As in, this is working. It's just currently you're building it. As in, if it would be up to users, all it would need is a easy front end, then, right?
Sorry for my light.
Oh, is that what it is?
You are still there. We see that.
Yeah, give me a sec. Give me a sec.
I actually see the yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to change the light bulb sometimes.
He's taking privacy really seriously.
No,
Go dark.
Upendra went incognito.
Yeah, I was half private. I just wanted my spectacles only, so it was visible only. So. Someone from my office switch off the light from outside, so my mistake. This system is currently working. Like I'm developing this on front of each of you guys. So you can also build a product using privacy on demand. It's up to you when you are going to build.
And also, Upendra, could you add one back into this room? Now that there's some downtime.
If we, yeah, okay, let's see like what cursor is doing from 10 minutes. We missed it. So what happens, like as I said, it didn't make any cross message call. It was my bad. It just made a transaction on the COTI. It says like it made the transaction on the COTI to save the age of the user on the COTI side only. So we are just uh, kind of onboarding the user. Now I'm asking it to create a script to check so that I can verify like if age was saved or not. So let's check if it's created the script or not. It says like there is a script called query user data. So it says like actual age is not verified, like cannot be visible. So when we are trying to fetch the age, it or we can try to find out the encrypted data itself. Let's run this in our terminal. Let me open a terminal, and if it run it,
You're using a MacBook Pro.
so this script says like the age is not stored. And why it says like, let's check the script, which script is running. So if we check the query, query user data on the COTI side. And we are getting the response querying user data, user address, network. Let's just try to find out.
So I do have a question. So if I were to sign up for, I don't know, some dapp, right? And I already gave my my date of birth. Is there a way for me to delete that from the database?
Yeah, anytime, like it's up to the user and up to the project what functionality you have added in your project.
So to put it simply, privacy on demand is basically like the old days. You basically have to show your data, then they check if it meets the requirement. And with privacy on demand, it's basically flips it around. So it checks the requirement first, and then whether, and then the data tells like whether it meets the requirement or not. Is that something like that? To put in simple terms.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah. I think it's, fair compared to, for example, if you're signing up on Facebook or something, right? And your data might be uploaded into, I don't know, it's not Supabase, but something like that, and can be accessed quite fast, right?
Yeah.
Not fast, not easily, but it's still, there will be data breaches.
I mean, it also good because it's not stored in one place. Like if you register into a social media account, like your data is stored in one platform, and yeah, they can do whatever they want with that data.
Technically, it is stored in COTI, right?
Y- yes, but I think COTI doesn't own your data, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, it's not, of course.
Yeah.
No one owns a network
Yeah.
Mm.
unless the let's say corporate controlled ones. There are networks directly under oversight of businesses. Fair enough.
Mm.
But if you're let's say if you're properly distributed, then it means that changes cannot be made without permission of the network. So
Interesting.
Okay, so there was a issue with the when it's trying to add the age. Let me again verify the age functionality if it's using the encrypted type or not. Yeah, it's using the encrypted age. And then what's gonna happen? It's validating the ciphertext. That's right. Uploading to the user, and it will save the age in the encrypted format. That's fine. Contract is running fine. There was some issues with the script maybe. So what I said, like when you run a function, call a function, don't just call the function. After calling, go and check the transaction hash and try to verify the event, because it emits event if it's successful or not, and verify the functionality was successful or not. So it's trying to do that. No, 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 no. It says like it's trying to save the age and it's failing. So in the auto mode, it's kind of try to go and create uh, another contract, test contract to just tackle this functionality. I don't want that. So let's try to figure out why this is not happening. Maybe it's not using the proper onboarding functionality. For that, we need to check the script. So for that, you need to have some development understanding. Otherwise, you need to reiterate it. Like you need to leave everything on the cursor, and it's going to run. Try to fix one functionality, then come to the result. It will take time. Otherwise, you can also go and check if like it's doing right or not. Or you can also take the example of the or help of other tool, like you can go directly to the Claude browser and ask this script like if this script is using the proper way of uh, encryption or not. So here we are calling the store encrypted age, and this is the encrypted age. Ethers ABI coder, default ABI coder. Okay, so let's see. It's not using COTI ethers. Okay, so let's let it point out. Select this, or what we can do, we can directly select, like the cursor is fully integrated with and properly integrated with this with the VS code. So we can do, we can copy the line only where the encryption is happening. We can, when we paste command L, it will take that line and say you are doing wrong encryption, use COTI ethers library, and do properly my and then I gonna be, I already have saved the information in the documentation, so I kind of added the COTI documentation here properly. So I'll give reference to some COTI documentation, like COTI contracts hard hat, and also there should be some COTI ethers to have proper context. And one thing I did wrong, I suggest everyone, when you are going to develop some smart content on the COTI, just take a clone of the COTI hard hat template and then start building on that. I should have used that, but I started, I didn't. I started just from a prompt, because then it's gonna have some idea like how the onboarding functionality works. In the template, this functionality already have implemented, so your AI tool going to have idea. Because let's see if it can solve it by itself using this documentation. Otherwise, it takes so much time in the onboarding and offboarding process. Says like, yeah, it knows how to do the onboarding right now, but let's see if it's actually able to do that.
So I think the from previous streams, I think the thought process of going with a template is also for safety, again security too, right? And best to reuse something that's been tried and tested than create your own.
Yeah, when we talk about the libraries, it's always use it's always beneficial to use the secure libraries like provided by the COTI. But here I'm talking about the hard hat configuration and how your scripts are going to interact with the COTI content. First thing is COTI contracts are different. They have the privacy feature, so you need to know how to interact with the privacy libraries of the COTI. And second thing, also how your front end or your back end going to interact with this contract, because from the front end or back end you need to encrypt your data. So that's also a task you need to provide, or context you need to provide your AI tool. That's why I said like that template kind of provides some context about that, so it's going to use easy for that. Like if you are vibe coding, if you are coding by itself, then you can use normal hard hat, but use hard hat template if you are vibe coding. So it changed the script. As we can see, it has added the, let's say if it's using the onboarding functionality. No, not now. It's using COTI ethers. So that what we can see. To follow this onboarding process, this AI tool is taking time to figure out the method. It has imported the COTI ethos, but the method it's trying to use from the documentation is for the front end or the browser purpose, and that don't work for the Node.js script. So let's see if it can figure it out by itself, or okay, maybe now it's able to do that. And before that, let's check like the transaction which happened. Okay, so if you see like it's trying to do the transaction, it's kind of failing all the time, but this time it just updated a transaction which is 12 seconds ago and says it confirmed. And let's try to check this transaction. So if we try to read the input, it's encrypted format. We cannot read that. We cannot decrypt that. That's the beauty of COTI. It says like it's saved the age of the user 25. User key generated automatically, and transaction was successful. And it also says a saved emitted. So now run script to read page and also decrypt that. As you can see, the context window has increased up to 70%. So these calls are quite costly for cursor. Let me check if it shows the pricing or like how much these are costing. Let me just try to check it if it's possible. uh, if my pricing is visible right now or not, guys, if you can confirm.
Is
Okay, so if I just look
is
at the
yes.
cost for today, yeah, so we are making all this premium cost for today, and it starts with the tokens they are the Sonnet is sending. So the first call we made, okay, we can have a good analysis here. So the first call we made with a huge prompt, it was the biggest, and then it shows error. Okay, so let's try again with the pro mod, and it included a kind of uh, a lot, like 2 million tokens. And then as you can see, it kind of sometimes increases, sometimes decreases. You can easily come and analyze from here like how much it's costing. And in this summary, it shows like in this month I have used the Sonnet. I've used for the Sonnet for the coding. So within 15 days, I use this cursor only for 4 or 5 days, I say, and it cost me $22. It's a $30 pack, I think, and it says like it cost $22. So you can come and check and analyze the tokens you have used in each call, so that you can uh, mm, you know use or add the prompt in such way, like this can be decreased to reduce your cost. Let's see what's going on here. So let's just try to again run query COTI. What it says now, it says age has been saved. So now it's working with the proper onboarding functionalities, and it kind of added the, so what happens here, if we see the user flow, user comes and sign up. Let's suppose it comes and sign up on the COTI side, and provided is encrypted age information. So user provided the encrypted age, and it's kind of saved in the COTI side. Now let's ask it to test out the Hyperlane's age verification functionality. So let's go and directly check out the functionality to reduce some burden from the AI. And this is the functionality request age verification. And to visualize that, let's try to involve some remix here.
Remix. Ethereum. We're not. We're not remixing music.
So let's create a contract naming verification Sepolia. So it's on the sepolia.sol. Paste it. Remix also, changes overview. And let's see if it's auto compile, yes. If you try to select the Sepolia for now, we are connected with the COTI. We need to, so if you see, like, MetaMask also changes interface. Initially we had the network options over there. Now they have added this network functionality here. So all these tools have, okay, COTI. Okay, how do we change the network? It's a new interface. I'm trying to figure out how we gonna be changing the network.
Shit. Oh,
Or what
can't help you there. I'm sorry.
or what we can do, I know a way. Let's try that. Okay.
You're
So
switching to
indirect-
mainnet to test it.
Yeah, it's testnet. Right. Let's see if it's changed or not. It still says COTI testnet. Okay. Not changed. Let's try again. Let's transfer 0.01 COTI. Now it shows COTI. Yeah, it also says COTI. Okay. There should be some, easier way to change the network over here. Let's try to reload. So here it says the Sepolia, and we are getting COTI testnet over here. Still the COTI. So remix. This happens to the remix, like it kind of got stuck somewhere. We can try to close it and try again. I just wanted to involve the remix to show some visual view, like how things are working here.
So you're creating a front end, is that right?
No, like we are not creating a front end for this demo, as like due to the limit of the time.
Okay.
So I just wanted to like visually show you like how we are fetching the information, if the information is saved properly or not. And it says let's try to disconnect it. When we go to the MetaMask,
The dreaded question. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
sorry.
No, I'm not understood.
Have you tried turning it off and on again? Oh, Upendra, could you?
So
Upendra, we have two of our creators in the lobby. Could you add them, please?
I think Robert can do that, right?
Actually, no. I'm logged in as a guest on this one.
Let me do that.
Forgive me.
I got only one.
We lost one. Okay.
Thank you. The security was so powerful, even my browser crashed.
So let's go and find out the contract addresses if we have here. No. In the deployment file we have. Okay, it's kind of created a proper contract address setup here. COTI contract, Sepolia contract, and yes, this one. But we want Sepolia. And this is the verification contract. We also can verify it from the Sepolia. That's the right one. Yeah, ED8B. Yeah, that's the right one. Let's go quickly to the remix, and we're not going to deploy it from here. We are just going to fetch the deployed contract and try to find out the information saved here. If we try to figure out the mailbox address, That's the right address, and we have provided it. So yeah, our contract is working fine. I'm the owner. This was the address I have provided. Okay, so my address was test one. Let's just verify the right person is the owner. Yeah, so it's 5BE. I'm the owner. We have right Sepolia domain. Okay, so we can also fetch information like user latest request ID. If we have any user request ID for now, like for my, as per I think we don't have. Let's call, like if we have created in call, okay, say 0. It's trying to ask, okay, we need a request ID here, get verification, has verified. So let's check if this user has verified till now or not. So no, we didn't verify anyone till now. If we ask user latest request, so all these informations are 0 for now because we didn't make any request from the Hyperlane till now. And it also says the request count. So we have a request, 0 request count. And let me make a request. Okay, I'm going to ask the cursor to make a request. And what will be the request? So if we see the COTI Sepolia verification side, we are going providing the functionality. Okay, go and test this functionality on Sepolia and provide hash. Also, like Hyperlane provide you the Hyperlane message through which you can track that. So we can say Hyperlane message ID. Let's see if it's able to do that. That's our final call we are making. So we are now we have privately stored data of a user, which is the age of the user. User is 25 age, and we are checking if it's more than 18, so it should be true. And let's call on the Sepolia the functionality, so if it works or not. Okay, so it's modifying the script. As I said, like we need to provide some fees when calling to the Hyperlane to provide the proper fees in the COTI side, the target chain. So it's updating the script and trying to call the Sepolia contract. Let's just wait for a sec. But I'm susceptible here because I often face this issue with the Hyperlane. Maybe the functionality involved decryption, so the call going to be on the Hyperlane, but it will take some time. So let's see if sometimes Hyperlane process the transaction very quick. And let me show you by the example. You can also check all this what I'm saying on the Hyperlane too. If we see this transaction, the transaction which has this tick, which means that transaction has been successful. The duration for this transaction was 4 minutes only. I tried this transaction earlier, and if we try to, okay, so many people have interacted with the Hyperlane COTI transaction before. It has just taken 37 seconds. This one was not delivered. we felt the same. Okay, I'm fetching the same. Why? 4 minutes. So like on average, they takes 4 to 5 minutes. Sometimes they are quick, like 40 seconds. As you say, like this is 5 minutes. Okay, let's check if the transaction was successful or not. So say like we don't have sufficient balance. Let's check like how much amount of Sepolia is trying to transfer. Okay, my wallet is out of Sepolia. That's really difficult to get. I'm going to ask to, you know, okay, I'm going to transfer some Sepolia first. Let me fund it properly. Try again. So it's kind of trying to fix it by itself. And the prompt I have added is in the queue. So let's just wait for the compilation. Let me check if the constructor needs mailbox contact only. So when it's going to call the dispatch functionality, okay, let's find some fixes in the contract. So it's going to do this whole process again itself, like in that situation, if you think like the contract has some issues, you need to follow the process. Like you need to deploy the contract again on the Sepolia, then on the COTI, and then you need to add the both the contract address to each other, so they have some information where they are going to make the call. And when if we check the setup script, there should be another issue I can find here.
Final test completed. Fingers crossed.
Let's try to find out here if we have any transactions till now or not. So we are checking from Sepolia to COTI, and it says like the transaction was 2 hours ago only. If we remove COTI here, just check Sepolia. Okay, so what issue I can think here? Let's stop it. Keep going. One thing about the Hyperlane, when we provide any address, we need to provide it with some extra zeros. They have this rule. Let me point out this to our AI tool. I think, yeah. The address of contracts provided here is with some zero coded. What they say, like we need some byte 32 compatibility so that it can work with all the platform. I think that's the point it's missing here. Let's provide this information. When you update trusted addresses, use address with byte 32 format. Check this. So I think I messed out here to providing the proper context. It says like you have reached the user limit of Sonnet. Like I'm continuously using the Sonnet, so cursor also have some limit. We can switch to the auto mode. Let's just wait for this request.
But automat, wouldn't that then be steered by whichever is still affordable? As in, if we run out of tokens for one, we just head over to the other one instead of the optimal solution.
Maybe we can also check this, like which model is going to use in the auto. Like this, my premium limit is over. Maybe it switch me to the like cursor have so many models like Gemini 2.5 Pro or GPT-5. So we're gonna be checking that too. Like when I'm going to switch that to the auto mode, we'll check like which model is using right now. After that. Let's also try to check it from the hype. Like it says like I'm using the right format, and we can also check it from here. What is the requester address? This is the COTI trusted address. Yeah, it's not using the right format. When I try read address format it shows, but we need okay. It's started updating the contract again. It's kind of taking longer than I thought. It could have done this by like change going through the script and just calling the function, but it's going all the way to update the contract. And then like this process is right, like it's going to be one for all. When you are deploying the contract, you need to put it into with these zeros with like byte 32 type address. But for now, for the testing, it could have just go and call the contract and then do that, because then it's going to again deploy the contract and then try to call all these functionalities. So when you deal with this, two chains process through interchain messages, you always need to set up both the contract with the latest contracts. And if some uh, update happens with one contract, you need to go for this deployment process all over again. I suggest like create a script for the deployment and all this process, automated script, because you're gonna be fed up with this process again and again. Because when you are developing, you need to add regularly the features, and it will take your consume your time. So I have already, like when I created a demo for that, I added that script which kind of done all the setup one click. And otherwise you need to go all this process again and again. And what this AI agent is doing right now, it says like it's compiled the contract, now gonna be deploying it. And then guess it's also going to ask me for the Sepolia. It's running the setup script on the COTI. Already run the setup script on the Sepolia. Okay, let's first check this new contact addresses if they are available there or not. Or we can directly also go and check the Hyperlane Explorer again. Yeah, it says, yeah. So this time it goes to the, and you can see it's make a transaction 48 seconds ago. It's going from Sepolia to the COTI testnet. If we open this transaction, so it happens the transaction was successful on the Sepolia 1 minute ago, and now Hyperlane is it's up Hyperlane to deliver the message to the COTI. And as you can see, delivery to destination seem to be failing. Okay, so it says like it finds some issue with the implementation on the target chain. So for now our half work is completed, like we have successfully integrated the Hyperlane on our Sepolia, and our Hyperlane is making transaction to the COTI side, and we figure out there was some issue on the COTI side. We can try to figure out. So it says like while delivering to the destination chain, on the recipient contract there was error, static aggregation hook, insufficient value. Maybe there's a issue with the fees. It kind of provided less fees, so it's provided 0.0045 ethereum. We can try again with more ethereum. Let me just check how much ethereum it sends. Let's ask it to the cursor. Transaction was successful on Sepolia and failed on COTI contract. Maybe use less ETH as value. Use 0.01 Sepolia. Let's check if with the bigger value, if we are able to solve this error. So if you are developing with the Hyperlane, trying to figure out privacy on demand, this is going to happen with you. Obviously, both the contracts going to have some implementation, some error. Then you need to go through all this process I explained. If there are going to be some changes in the COTI side contract, you need to redeploy both the contract. And for now, like I have created this trusted contract functionality for now, but if you know going to get errors, so it may be feel boring for you to make this implementation again, because we are developing not on only one chain, we are developing for two chain also, trying to integrate a message passing protocol. Once this functionality has been successful, with just this functionality of transferring the message, then again again other process gonna be the similar, like making the cross contract call between two contracts. It's just this contract call going to happen between two different chains, but then the development will look like similarly like cross contract call between one chain or one platform. So it says like it has made another transaction with more fees. Try to figure out if we have new transaction. Yeah, we have new transaction. Let's see if it's successful on the other side or not. And we can also check on the Hyper remix if we have any updates here. It seems it's got disconnected. Okay, we have new contact address. It says it failed. Let's see. So it's trying to check the delivery message. It still says you are sending insufficient value. And what comes here?
Really getting in our rejection therapy here.
This is sales training, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. You can just let it keep sending. It'll it'll say success soon.
It's kind of compiling the result. So the transaction is gonna be on here. We have these requirements. Unauthorized sender. That should be set trusted sender.
Did you have to sign it with your owner address?
Yeah. But the sender gonna be the contract we have taken. So we can ask the Hyperlane about this error because the error is coming from the Hyperlane side. Maybe this require more gas, more Sapolia. There should be some. If I can remember, there used to be a AI agent. He could have asked the question directly. Don't have one right now. Let me check the amount of gas is kind of transferred. We have transferred 0.01 ETH. That was right. Let's go with more ETH.
Oh, there, user.
What?
I was looking at your at the variables. I don't know if the user definition was the right one in this case. No, you're right there.
Where?
Yeah, in purple, a little bit up. So I was trying to compare if the mentioned user who did the request was there. If it was the contract owner, but it's 5PE. That's you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my address.
Yeah.
User address. We still getting her. handle.
I think it's time we try praying to the machine god.
We are entering longest stream territory slowly.
Let's pray. We can help Upendra by praying to the machine god. Praise the Lord Messiah.
Yeah, but I actually had a live stream of 2.5 hours,
Okay.
like 2.5 hours.
Are you saying this as a goal, or is this?
We can think because that's a complex functionality.
True. Let's try and find to resolve it, because if we run into it, a user might run into it as well. A new
Yeah,
user.
definitely. And like they wanna like this error was coming from the hyperlane. It says exactly here the insufficient value, and which I can figure out like it should be the gas error, and we can also try to figure out from hyperlane. There should be some AI agent to help out, but let's see like what it means.
I'm not very familiar with Hyperlane, but does it require any escrow, for instance, staking that could be slashed in order to pass through, as in so for reputation management? I don't know.
Yeah, like
Anything that's costly.
it can be possible, like but it depends on the project, like if they want to provide this functionality or not. But hyperlane gives this option. So let's again see the handle function if it's making any changes in the handle functionality. It's kind of making it simpler. So let's try the transaction again. Let's see if we have a transaction here now. Yeah, we have a transaction here. Let's check in again with a higher gas fee. It's taking a long time.
Yeah,
It's just teasing.
yeah. Makes you want to wait.
Okay.
Did you manage to go in
Yeah.
through?
Yeah. Let's check on the Hyperlane
There you go.
COTI Explorer. So it was successful this time.
You did it, Upendra.
So, like, we accomplish a functionality right now. Like, we have saved the private age. We are able to fetch it from the from using this hyperlane send message. There should be so many functionalities. I think we cross a limit today, but as we are developing a complex functionality, you can add so many checks and all. As I said, as I only added one functionality, you can check on the hyperlane. If we refresh it, it's got there 2 minutes ago. It's just taken 1 minute. So our message on the COTI chain, it's got there and fetched that. We need to also add the functionality to send back the message to confirm it here. Then we need to add the functionality to confirm that we have you know make the transaction between two chain. So it's quite going to be complex. It will require some time, but that's how you can get the privacy on demand on any platform you want. Otherwise, you can directly use the COTI. The development is very easy. Go and just directly use the develop on the COTI. You get all the privacy feature in build, like AI, the feature where you need privacy, the feature where you don't need privacy. You can build every project natively there. But if you required, you have existing project and you want some project to be multi-chain, then you need to do this complex functionality, and you just need to do it once when there is connection is built. Now your AI tool, like if you're a vibe coder, now your AI tool know how to implement this cross-chain functionality, how to respond with that, and how much gas you need. You can also add the gas hook I said, which makes this process faster. So there's so much to implement using this cross-chain messaging platforms, and there so much to be achieved. If I share here, like our conclusion, there's so much can be achieved using the COTI, and you can create a platform, a privacy platform on COTI, which can be utilized by the thousand of the project over the chains. So that's the way you can pick. This is the development way. That was a quick demo, and I think that's it for today from my side. And I wanted to know for you guys, like, what do you think, like, because I think this feature of privacy demand is, and this privacy feature whole thing is very much useful for the web3 for whole web3 ecosystem. What your point on that?
I think it's very cool. I think it's as a as a fan of my own data being not being used for nefarious reasons. I like it, and I much prefer my data not be stored in some database somewhere by a corporation. So very good, and thank you very much, Upendra, for this, for of course your hard work in trying to get this all done within the span of 2 hours. It's not easy.
Thanks
Indeed.
a lot. Thanks a lot to Cursor.
Yeah.
There's a lot to and on some level, also cursor is being prompt, but it is what it is. That's AI.
And thanks a lot you guys, because like sitting for 2.5 hours and watching this complex developing journey, that's kind of boring, I think.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's this is its development.
It's always intriguing to see, okay, where will it have a hiccup or not, and like you mentioned, we already got further faster than before. So it's learning still, our virtual colleague. So yeah, and in terms of opinion, I think shielded transactions are what should have been in the launch of Ethereum initially. I think it's I think
Yeah,
privacy
that is
is missing.
very. You're right, bro.
And other chains, let's say any chain, but yeah. So I'm glad we're building solutions to provide that. Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts, kid?
I mean, as a person who has pretty much zero experience in tech or Web3, this is actually mind blowing to me. I mean, I think there's a lot of things you could do with this, and yeah, I think like it's worth experimenting. That's what I'm trying to say. So thank you, Upendra, for enlighten us to privacy on demand.
Yes. And so I think that should conclude our stream for tonight. Be sure to tune in on Friday for our Friday night's build as well. Um, and don't forget to subscribe to COTI Foundation. And if you want to look at more events or more live streams in the future, go to stay.coti.io. But that is all for today. Thank you very much, guys. Have good morning to some people, good afternoon to some, and good evening. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
stay Cody.
Stay Cuddy.